Hello and welcome to Boring Dad Gaming, where today I'm going to be playing the next game that's sort of on my next fest stroke wishlist demo is The Pale Beyond, which is more of a sort of narrative visual novel type thing. I played the opening few minutes of it previously, but when it came up in Next Fest and I was doing this sort of mini series on good looking demos that were available, I thought I'd film this for that. So we're going to start a new game here. I'm going to dive in. Oh, the air be's cold. Oh, the air be's cold of flake and white as a sailor begs their pledge. To the ice they'll pray that leads reveal some charted course ahead. Of homes they'll dream, of warmth long lost, and chase to the frost world's edge. A hunger draws the desperate here. It's one that can't be fed. What will ye do when steel hearts break and courage does abscond? I'll lead these souls, so help the gods, out of the pale beyond. A nice little interactive poem there to start things off. Crew wanted. Able-bodied crew wanted for dangerous expedition. Months of darkness, low wages, slim chance of safe return. Glory to be had in the event of success. You're alone in the office. The tea in your hands has long since gone cold. I'd rather have coffee. Looking around the room, you can make out a collection of military books. On the desk is a ship in a bottle. A metronome ticks away steadily. I find it calming. The dedicated rhythm soothes the senses. The room is sweltering, the air stiff and stale. Keep waiting. You hear footsteps climbing the stairs that brought you here. Well, we haven't been asked to take a seat, so we'll remain standing. The door behind you swings open. The captain bounds past you to the other side of the desk.
Do you have all of your teeth?
Open mouth? You bare your teeth to the man.
Good. Can never be too careful.
The captain sits down.
It's the little things you could lose people to.
I've not had scurvy before, if that's what you're asking.
There's more things to worry about than just scurvy. How many people have died under your supervision?
None.
Meaning you're either perfect for the job, a liar, or you've never been in command. Which is it?
Maybe the latter. Maybe we're inexperienced. The latter.
Really? Command tests a person's mettle. Do you think you're ready?
Is anyone really ready?
Some more than others, it would seem. Please, take a seat.
Sit down. The chair is uncomfortably large. The seat feels worn.
I'm Captain Hunt.
Pleasure is mine, Robin Shaw. He nods. Wait for him to continue.
I hope you weren't waiting too long.
I'm told it's worth the wait.
Good. There's been a lot of candidates. Some good, some bad. Interesting mix. I'm sure you understand the need for discretion.
The advert said there was glory to be had.
Months of darkness. Low wages. Slim chance of safe return. That didn't deter you, did it?
It's to be expected, surely.
I thought it blunt, but it's proven remarkable at weeding out the weak and the pretend. I have a few questions first.
He looks down at his list of questions.
Were you born a landlubber or a sea dog?
Okay, so this is kind of a bit of a character creator thing. We can think about our character and what they are. Let's say we're from the city. We seem a bit inexperienced. I'm from the city, but I made my way to sea eventually.
Military experience?
Maybe we're Royal Admiralty. We don't have a command, but maybe we're sort of an experienced sailor. Royal Admiralty. Never command, though.
Under what circumstances did you leave?
Honourably.
Well, we've no stewards to wipe your ass out here. You better get used to doing that yourself. Have you ever fired a weapon?
Yes.
Have you ever killed a man, directly or otherwise?
I mean, if we're in the Royal Navy, probably. Yes.
I see. You're not married, are you?
No.
Better not have a death wish. One must believe there will turn to justify leaving in the first place. Any less and you're doing yourself a disservice.
So, where are we headed?
We're here to find the ship in that bottle. The Viscount. Heard of it?
This is some kind of joke, right? The captain sighs and takes a deep breath before trying again.
Not this, Robin. 5 years ago, she set sail on a research expedition towards the Dead Peninsula. They were trying to find and study the absolute magnetic south.
Did they?
Did they what?
Did they find it, magnetic south?
I have no idea. She never came back. Her last known location was 200 miles south of land, presumed lost to the ice.
5 years is a bit late for a rescue operation. They're probably dead.
Alive or not, their research is supposedly of extreme importance.
And we're supposed to be chasing that research?
Exactly.
Alright, you have my attention. The captain smiles.
Here's what we do know. Not one person or thing has been heard from the Viscount since it first left port.
Until now?
Until now. Someone was found who claims to have been on that ship.
Where are they now?
Dead, but their testimony seems to have outlived them. Those with more money than sense want that old ship. That's the job. If I don't pick the first mate, somebody else will, and, well, my judge of character's gotten me this far.
Who's financing all this?
The usual. Film and lecture rides have been sold, of course. We're in the process of signing off on a final benefactor for the expedition. They've even donated a ship. We'll be traveling on board the Temperance. She's a beauty. Greenwood, generational. Not many like it left these days. The Viscount and the Temperance. They're sister ships. Built together, sent out into this world to die alone.
Poetic.
Indeed. I like to think one calls out for the other.
The captain looks at the bottled ship.
So, what do you think?
It's not that much to go on.
No, it isn't.
The captain checks his watch.
Anyway, I think I've heard enough.
The captain stands up.
We'll leave in a month. Welcome aboard, sure. Proverbially speaking.
So I've got the job?
And what do you think? I'll see you on the Temperance. I've got a good feeling about you, Shaw.
Thank you, Captain. The captain makes his way to the door and you follow. You arrive at the docks a month to the day. Before you lies a ship, the letters on the side spelling Temperance. Approach the Temperance. You walk the cobble to the boarding ramp. Beside is a sharply dressed man overseeing the loading of cargo. I guess we'll click on him. He turns to you with a stern expression. You can feel his eyes assessing you.
A military gate? You must be Hunt's pick for first mate. I figured he'd keep it in the ranks. Good man.
He extends an arm.
Richard Templeton, a pleasure.
We can shake his hand. You accept his offer of a handshake. It's a considered shake.
I shall be operating as the Chief Science Officer on this expedition. I'm also the incumbent representative of our benefactor. Do, however, consider myself and my team at you and the captain's disposal.
Mr. Templeton, I look forward to working together.
I expect you to be up for the task. Some of the layabouts Hunt hired are questionable, at best. No doubt I needn't inform you of your duties. You're second only to Captain Hunt himself. Though I must warn you, you have quite the task ahead. The rabble I've spent the afternoon sorting are the same you'll have to whip into shape. Punctuality, schedule, strict adherence is what we need if this expedition is to succeed. I expect you to be the organized sort. You would not have been assigned this role otherwise.
Okay, we've got a choice of things here. We can call on our landlubber thing, or our colonial experience. Maybe we'll say I have more than enough experience with a crew of this nature.
Well, that is comforting to hear. It would seem for most of the crew the captain favoured personal history over expertise. It is good to know that he found the capable sort for such a vital role. Let me know when you're ready to depart. And make sure to savour these last moments on land. The less valuable time we waste here, the better.
Okay, so that's the Temperance. I think let's just have a look at it. We'll have a look at the ship. It's a pretty little drawing, isn't it? Hunt's description of the ship was accurate. Near identical to the Viscount, barring some modern additions. Look at the city. You will be gone for quite a while. It will be some time before you see the city again. We've got a guy here. A young man stands at the ramp, steeling himself for the journey ahead. Hesitantly, he begins to drag his feet up the ramp and onto the ship. Okay, I don't think there's much more for me to do apart from set sail. So, it's week 0, morning, 12 degrees centigrade. That's cold, but not too cold. Let's get going. Music sounds good. Oh, there we go. The Pale Beyond. It's been a month. A hunger draws the desperate here. It's one that can't be fed. What will you do when steel heart breaks and courage does abscond? Oh, this is the poem from the beginning. I'll lead these souls, so help the gods, out of the Pale Beyond. First Mate Shaw, personal log. It's been 1 month since I signed on, and 1 week since we've set sail aboard the Temperance. I'm told the waters will get warmer as we pass the hemisphere, before they turn colder. The Temperance? The Admiralty had nothing like this. She's magnificent. A technical marvel, elegant machinery, expertly weaved through one of the fastest hardwood ships of its day. Reborn for this mission, breathing again with life, she's simply magnificent. As for its master, he's mostly kept to his quarters so far. I need to know if I can trust Captain Hunt. He's not telling the whole truth. I can't shake the feeling that he's not telling the whole truth. Despite that, I find myself warming to the man. As for the rest of the crew, There are now 22 of us, including the captain. Our next port will be our last before we enter the ice, to pick up the remaining 4 members of the crew, the scouting team. Hunt is also keen to work out a deal on a pack of sledding dogs. The crew are a strange lot, eclectic as the ship itself. I can't help but wonder who's footing the bill for all this. Certainly not the captain. Such exquisite, I think that's a typo there, modifications to the ship mustn't have come cheap. I should investigate further. One of Hunt's sailors approaches.
Captain wants you at the helm.
What for?
Didn't ask.
He leaves. Okay, we can go to the forecastle, the forecastle. Have a look at the crow's nest. The crow's nest currently stands unoccupied. The scouting team are expected to join at the next port. There's the captain. I think we should go and see him first, I think. You ascend the stairs to the stern and find the old captain manning the helm of the ship.
Now, Robin, lovely day for it, isn't it?
It is indeed, Captain.
Indeed. Days like these, I make sure to do my share of the sailing.
He winks. Let him continue. He thinks for a moment before stepping aside and stretching out a wrinkled hand.
Did you ever take the helm in the Admiralty? Never felt right not to for me. Here, why don't you have a try?
Take the wheel. You grip the wheel of the ship and feel the weight of the waves in your arms. We can pan around with the right mouse button held down. There's quite a lot of cloud at the moment. We can't really see very much. The memory in your muscles rear themselves as you begin to move in time with the ship and the wind.
Easy. There, you have it.
The captain pats you on the back.
Fantastic. Now try to get a sense of where we are. Get some perspective.
Okay, we can zoom in and out with the mouse wheel. We can get in pretty close. There we go. He takes the wheel back from you.
Yeah, I think I'll drink in the morning. A little longer. Would you mind preparing my quarters for the day's work? There's much to do.
Okay, we can zoom in and out. So that's the zoomed out look. We can zoom out quite far. And zoom in again quite far. So let's go to the captain's cabin. A tub. A pristine furnished tub secured to the floor. A luxury to be had on the ice. A classical painting depicting sailors doing battle with a kraken. You're unsure of... Unusual word in there. I think that's another typo. I think that's meant to be if. You're unsure if it's of any historical significance, though recognise the ship as the galleon of Captain Hamish. The desk. On the desk you mate out a variety of papers, notes and maps, as well as a sealed letter with a stamp you don't recognise. The desk itself is suspended with ropes to keep it safely in place. Take requests. You take a seat at the end of the room. The captain joins you.
Now, let's run through our provisions before taking requests. To start, there's 23 souls signed on... Oh, hang on. I was trying to see if I could scroll because some of the text is disappearing off to the right. I can't zoom in or out, and if I left-click, it disappears. All right. 16 free to be assigned to tasks if they aren't already busy, and the rest are deployed to their permanent stations.
You're only able to deploy crew, these little figures, who you have discovered. They must be in good health and not otherwise deployed to another post. So we know 4 of 23 people at the moment. That's probably us, the captain, the crew member who came to see us, and the scientist guy we met on the dock. Oh, is it my... Let's have a look at the settings. What's the resolution? Oh my goodness, it's really low. Okay. Well, let's set it to that. Oh god.
blurry.
Are we able to do any others? Oh, there's loads. Okay, sorry. It wouldn't scroll with the mouse, so I didn't think there were any others. So let's put it at the native YouTube resolution. Let's see what that looks like. That's a bit better, isn't it? Okay, there we go.
We'll be picking up the scouting crew at the next port. A lot of us seem to be in good spirits.
The expedition will tear itself apart if you end the week with no decorum left. Okay, we've got 100 out of 100.
We have enough provisions for at least 6 months in a case of emergency.
Crew members will start to develop scurvy and be unable to work should you end the week with no food left in the hoosh pot. Again, 100 out of 100 there.
And more than enough fuel to see us there and back again.
You will all freeze to death if you end the week with no fuel in the furnace.
The sledding dogs, well, they're still a matter of negotiation.
Dogs will be needed to send sledding teams out to gather resources on the ice.
Now, on to work.
Corvid or Cordell? Let's just work through in order, I suppose. Corvid? A sailor enters.
We found a stowaway in the lower hold. Bring them in.
Another sailor enters, leading a young man by their side.
You know, you're not the first stowaway I've had.
The captain studies them further.
You know where we're heading, don't you?
I do, sir. The ice.
Did you know that before you climbed inside that crate?
I did, sir.
Ha! How old are you? You're hardly a useful pair of hands.
Not true, I can pull my weight, sir.
You know your jaboom from your bowsprit?
I do. I learned it all from my da.
Your da?
Who's talking? Maybe this guy?
He's Ward's son. Followed him on board back in the city. What should we do with him, Captain? Well, sure.
Hunt eyes you up.
Your first mate, what should we do with him?
Just keep him aboard. Extra hand. Hunt squints.
Why?
You need all the help you can get. This young man wants to help. I'd say we let him.
All right, boy. Consider yourself part of the crew. Be sure to keep your nose clean and follow orders.
I will. Thank you, sir.
Captain, not sir.
Aye, Captain. A stowaway joins the two sailors below deck, now a member of the crew.
Well, it seems the litter has a new runt.
Sorry, that was me, not the captain.
I hope the rest won't mind sharing their rations. What of the father?
I doubt he intended for this to happen. We'll keep an eye on both of them.
I suppose you're right. Well, that matter's sorted.
Cordell. Have you agreed upon my conditions?
To the point, eh? Sure, this is Lady Cordell. Cordell here is to provide us with the kennel of hounds for the sleds. And our agreement was that she would train them up until we part ways to the nearest island, but...
You neglected to inform me that you were bringing my dogs through the Pale Passage. I had no intention of sending the pack to its death.
You seem to have good faith in this expedition.
It's the one thing to ask for my whole kennel. It's another to drag them into the ice to chase a myth. Never before has a buyer been so dishonest.
Never before has a seller made such strong demands.
What exactly are these demands?
She demands we allow her to come along on the expedition, as a member of the crew.
None on this ship have the experience and familiarity with these dogs that I possess. If you're taking them to such a brutal location, they will need me to guide them if they have any chance of survival. The humans on board too, of course.
Of course. You can see my dilemma, sure. We've just accepted a stowaway. Bringing on another member of the crew is a risk, but our hands may be tied. Your thoughts?
I don't see the harm in having an expert on the sled dogs.
Yeah, a good point, sure.
He turns to her.
This deal is already to your benefit.
Do you have anyone on board with extensive training in the management and ruling of dogs? Your sleds are useless if you can't control the dogs efficiently enough to haul them. And I would like to ensure my dogs are treated properly. Don't expect the crew to waste time taking care of your mutts then. I would not trust them to. I'm more than capable of that myself.
None have a room prepared for you below deck.
So our max crew increased to 25 now. No need. You'll find me in the forecastle. She looks at you with disdain. With the mutts. Oh, we didn't make a friend there, did we? She leaves.
I hope I'm not making a mistake, Shaw.
Plus 14 dogs. Okay, finish requests.
Now that's all settled, I have one more errand for you to run. Could you grab the Stoke brothers and order them to meet me up deck after dinner? Hefty lads, red hair. You couldn't mistake them for another.
Do you require me for this meeting?
No, this isn't a matter the first officer need concern themselves with. They'll be down on the middle deck. In the meantime, you should grab a copy of the crew manifest and get acquainted with more of the crew.
Okay. Well, we've got his leave, so obviously he hasn't got the crew manifest. Some dude here. Oops. The right button to scroll. Alright, we go talk to him. Don't know what he's doing. Upon closer inspection, you make out the ship's photographer, Kasha Belford, balanced on the ship's mast with her camera lining up a photo. How's the view up there? You startle the woman, causing her to fall and nearly drop her camera. Oh, let's help her down. You help her retrieve the device and untangle herself from the rigging. Oh, that was a close shave, Officer Shaw. It's about time I met the first officer of this ship. Kasha Belford. Nice to meet you, Kasha. I suppose there was some sort of rule against what I was doing up there, huh? Deepest apologies, but sometimes there's a shot you just cannot pass up. An accomplished photographer, Kasha Belford won the Fentler Prize, the highest honour in journalism, for her work covering plague outbreaks and riots in the capital. It came as a surprise to many that such a reputable journalist would take such an interest in this expedition. There was scarcely any chance of Hunt or the benefactor turning her away. You expected someone of her accolades to be older, more experienced. This is likely her first time on the sea like this. Her accomplishments surely outweigh her youth. Inexperience is a matter of interest, but her accolades speak for themselves. The cold game. Picture that as a header. What? For the Peace and the Voyage. I'm trying to come up with a snappy name. Nobody will read it if the title sounds like the work of an amateur. This isn't a game, Kasha. An experience like this isn't light business. Kasha nods eagerly, but you can tell she's not really listening. Oh, right, of course. It is thrilling, though, isn't it? I suppose someone of your experience finds it all boring at this point. A trip to the ice may seem dull compared to the Royal Admiralty. You know who I am. Of course, I thoroughly researched the crew of the Temperance. It may seem somewhat excessive, but I feel it's necessary for a proper chronicling. Oh, that and plenty of pictures. Don't worry, Shaw. You don't have a reputation that sets you apart from the rest. A celebrity like Kurt Darling's presence will dwarf any rumours that could form around you. That reminds me. He'll be joining us at the next port. I should get a picture at some point. Kasha holds up her camera with a sense of pride before holding it up to her face. Stand still, Shaw. The captain sent me to grab a copy of the manifest. Oh, yes, I'm putting together a manifest of the crew for you. She hands you an annotated document. Here it is, the crew manifest. Righty. Okay, so these are the ones we've met. We've got Joseph Joe Gren. He was the one who first asked us to go meet the captain. We've got Timmy Rump Ward. We've got Smurf Sanders. He was one of the guys who dragged the runt in. And, oh, that's Amelia. That's a woman in there. Okay, I didn't realise that when I did the voice. Got a couple of little tags here. Ice Savvy Sailor. Ice Savvy Sailor. Sailor Stowaway Saltborn. Sailor Ice Savvy. Or Savvy. That's another typo. It needs to be double V for Savvy. Hopefully they'll, deal with some of these typos before release, because it's a little bit off-putting. Just a little bit. Okay. Is that it? Do I have to say anything to her now? Do I click on her? Oh. It's a work in progress. The scout team are to join us at the next port, and the captain's forbidden me from the boiler room. If you could ask the others to get the portraits taken, I'd be very grateful. Don't want to leave anyone out. I'll see what I can do. I'll not disturb you of your work any further, officer. I have a few more shots I want to get before the sun lowers anyhow. Safe shots, officer, don't worry. You leave her to her work. Okay, we could go to the forecastle. 2 Johns, who's this guy? You spot a large man with a youthful gait carrying a heavy crate over his shoulder with relative ease.
Oh, you're Officer Shaw.
He gives you a bright, warming smile.
2 Johns. That's what they call me. I'm sure you'll get your nickname later.
2 Johns attempts to offer a handshake but loses control of the crate. He struggles before firmly holding it in place with both hands.
No, maybe later. Work awaits.
Okay, he's on the manifest now. What's this one? Below deck. Well, let's go to the forecastle first. The forecastle door appears to be locked. You can hear the kennel master preparing the room inside. Okay, can't go there. No need to go back to the captain's cabin, so let's go down to the ship. Oh, yeah, we can scroll around. It scrolls quite fast. So there's a couple of things to do here. We can go further down, or... Oh, up or down, basically, at this time. Well, we know the guy we want is in the mid-deck, don't we? Alright. Approach the accordionist. One of the crew, a red-headed man with a thick beard, sits proudly playing on the ivory accordion. He spots you and ceases in his playing.
Need something?
I was just looking for the Stoke brothers.
Emergency?
Just a meeting with Hunt.
You're speaking to one of them? Grimley Stoke. We'll head up after dinner. You can go now.
The man gestures to the cook across the room before resuming his playing. We've got to talk to someone else, haven't we? Or maybe he'll take both of them. Alright, call the crew for dinner. The crew have their meal. It passes in relative silence. Alright, it's evening now, week 1. The crew return to their posts. The hammocks are unfurled in preparation for the evening. Twilight falls. The dinner table. Over dinner, you hear the newly picked up stowaway speaking with the one-armed man. But, you're lucky Hunt didn't throw you overboard. Half a mind to do that myself. Oh, come on, Da. I'm here to help. Better know that involves work. Don't expect special treatment. I won't. You're an impossible child, Timmy. Okay, we've got Doug Ward now on the manifest. Guess we go up. Anything's over here? Yeah, we got this Mr. Gloss. You spot one of Templeton's science team pacing around the middeck, searching through some luggage that has been pulled from a cabin.
Oh, let me look in the light. Where was it now?
He notices you.
Ah, Officer Shaw, correct? Dwight Glossley. Apologies, I seem to have misplaced something while settling in the cabin. A bottle of wine, actually.
You better not be drinking on the job.
Oh, of course not. I have to keep the senses sharp in this work. My wife and I brought a bottle to celebrate with. To be saved for the journey back, of course. Well, if you find it, please let me know.
Okay, we can enter my cabin. Could do that. Have a little look around at where we're staying. It's not the main quest part here. We could open our journal. Do that. So that's all the stuff we wrote. Don't need to add anything to it at this point. I guess we go above deck. Okay, so we've got Templeton. The ocean. As you look over the railing out to the ocean, a wisp of smoke flies past your face. You turn to examine. it and spot a sailor with a pipe in his mouth and a sheet of paper in his hand, overlooking the stirring waters.
Looking at something?
Not many sailors can read or write. What's the letter?
A letter? All you need to know.
Tashi. After introducing himself, Tashi falls silent and begins to read the letter. Trying to draw conversation from him may be similar to extracting teeth. Alright. Vern Sheridan there. So I guess we go talk to Templeton. You spot Templeton looking out into the sunset. As you approach, he turns to you and nods.
Ah, Officer Shaw. It'll be some time before we see a sunset such as this again. The light distribution towards the southern pole is quite the change.
I noticed you went at dinner with the others.
I prefer to eat in solitude. I have my own cabin, and I make use of it.
Templeton keeps his focus on the reflection of the setting sun over the stirring waters of the ocean.
There is great expectation upon us, officer.
Are you feeling the pressure, Mr. Templeton?
I cannot afford to. We all have to keep our focus.
Templeton looks down, catching his reflection in the ocean's surface. He looks back up at the sunset.
Quite the sight, but I wouldn't linger upon it too long. We should retire for the evening. It's important the first officer be well rested.
Okay, we've got 8 out of 25. We could advance the week. I assume that's kind of what we're meant to do, so let's do that now. Do I have to hold it? Oh, I do. Food rations per crew member this week. Normal 2 per blup. So we're going to lose 20. No, sorry, 50. And fuel rations, we're going to lose 20. Okay. The ship makes its last port at Whaletail Island. Cordell's sledding dogs are picked up. The scouting crew and Kurt Darling are picked up. The days are getting brighter as you move further south. Second week on the Temperance. There's a rap on your cabin door. Come in. The door swings open to reveal Kurt Darling, all but filling its frame, grinning from ear to ear.
There you are, Officer Shaw.
The ship's navigator is a difficult man to miss. Stature and reputation precede him. Adorned with a slew of apparatus, this seemingly one-man expedition would be known to anyone following the heyday of exploration, and the merchandising that followed. It's an honour. Really, a wealth of invaluable experience in such hostile environments. A wonder he's not been swept up to some other post.
Hiding away from the rest of us, are you?
No, I'm simply busy.
Of course. The role of first mate must surely take up a great deal of your time. Apologies for not stopping by sooner, Shaw. I've been busy myself. It took a little while to set up my team, and a great deal of the crew were quite eager to meet me.
That's right, you're something of a celebrity, aren't you?
I take that to mean you haven't heard of me before. Well, that is a pleasant surprise. There aren't many people who haven't seen my films, particularly in this line of work. More than one fellow on this crew said my work inspired them to explore the world. Quite the honour, is it not?
I don't want to antagonise him, so let's say I'm certain you receive that praise often.
Yeah, not as often as you would think. I suppose I did get distracted, didn't I? Anyway, I was hoping you'd join me up on deck.
Of course, but why?
Oh, we've finally entered the pack. I thought you'd want to see it for yourself.
I'm right behind you, Kurt. Kurt turns to walk away before turning back.
Oh, and enjoy your morning. It's a good day, Shaw. Ha ha!
He leaves. Kurt Darling's on the manifest. Let's look at our journal. Do we write anything else? Week 2. Can't seem to write anything. Maybe we do it at the end of the week, possibly. We've got the doctor's office. Go and meet the doctor. The door to the doctor's office remains locked.
Yeah, seems a good doctor, isn't it? Or perhaps enjoying his sleep.
You're yet to come across the ship's doctor, even after all this time. someone to meet here. Mrs. Gloss. You notice one of the science team returning to their room.
Ah, Mrs. Gloss. Did you have a good rest?
She nods to you.
Oh, hello. I did not expect many to be up this early. Harriet Glossley.
I believe I've met your husband.
Ah, yes. Dwight made mention of your encounter. He's still fast asleep. He's adjusted to the ship well. I believed a walk around the ship would help acclimate myself to the waves. Perhaps it will take some more time.
With that, Mrs. Gloss makes her way back to her cabin.
The science team aren't used to the sea, all the sailor folk. Quite the culture clash, isn't it? Well, I'm sure they'll grow used to them over time.
Alright, we've got Harriet Glossy now, up to 9 out of 25. We could try downstairs. We've got hammocks. Many of the crew are still fast asleep laying in hammocks.
Best not to disturb them, sure. You don't want to find yourself dealing with an abruptly woken sailor. Let us head up deck.
The sounds of snoring are rather obnoxious. Yeah, not much more there. Okay. Set up. Let's have a little look at the helm. At the stern, you notice an older sailor at the helm. The old man takes in a deep breath in the cold air before letting out a satisfied exhale.
Morning. And a good morning to you.
He eyes you up.
Officer Shaw, right?
Lefty.
Call me that on account of, well, should be obvious.
He chuckles.
Don't worry about the bad sight. This is all feel.
Just keeping her steady.
He examines you.
Surprised Hunt picked from outside for his first mate.
I assure you I'm more than qualified for the role.
Oh, I don't doubt that. You must be something special for Hunt to look outside the ranks. Hunt doesn't have much fondness for the military, but at least means you got the work ethic. Warnings like these are about the only piece I get from the younger lot. You should take these moments when you can.
Lefty returns his attention to the helm.
As you get older, I suppose you'll learn to value the quiet moments, eh? Let's hope we're just as diligent when we're old and grey. Myself before you, of course.
Alright. 10 out of 25. Let's go and look at the pack ice. You join Kurt at the bow of the ship. You both feel the temperance break the floes below you. Gripping the railing, he draws an enormous breath. The footing beneath rises as the ship mounts an impending ice floe. There is a moment's hesitation before a profound crack relieves the ship, cascading across the ice. He exhales.
See? Nothing else like it.
You weren't wrong. It's something, all right.
Look at the ice. No two cracks are the same.
For now, though, I need a navigator, not a poet.
Oh, we're about a week's sail from the last known location of the old Viscount. Assuming she isn't exactly where they left her, we can't take smooth sailing for granted. Same goes for this daylight. It won't remain this bright for long, once winter encroaches. Beautiful as the ice is, on this course it's going to get thicker.
He looks out across the ice.
We won't be so confident when the leads dry up and we're stuck here till the next cycle. We need to change course. Avoid the pack.
Have you informed Captain Hunt?
No, he won't listen to me. I think I've been dulled by my retirement. I've probably seen more ice than he has whiskey.
We have enough supplies if it comes to that.
Not the supplies I'd be worried about in that situation. People will turn on each other before they let themselves starve.
Have you ever experienced the long night winter? It's not pleasant, to say the least. I can't say that I have.
We're only as good as the unhappiest man, Robin.
That's first mate Shaw. Kurt humours you a salute.
Yes, officer.
I'll do what I can. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Kurt nods and turns back to look across the ice. Alright, we can head to the captain's cabin. Take requests.
Ah, sure. Ready for another day of work?
Did you hear Kurt's advice? He wants us to switch course.
Ah, he had a few words to share. He may have been an expert in his time, but these days Kurt is one with more money than sense. Anyway, back to work. I was hoping you'd help me work through a few more requests from the crew. You may have noticed the line pooling up outside. Everyone wants something, it seems. Call them in as you please.
Alright. We'll go with Hammond first. A short, sour-faced man in engineer clothing approaches. Are you acting daft, Hunt?
Not with intention.
Not bloody surprised you didn't notice.
Sure, this is our chief engineer, Clive Hammond. An opinionated one. What is it, Hammond?
We're at the ice and you haven't assigned any extra men down in the boiler.
You have your engineering team.
And we've only got 6 arms between us. I need more manpower maintaining this. Sailors?
Any of the crew have their own tasks they're busy with. And I've already assigned Smurf on a matter.
The captain turns to you.
How many do you think is fair? 1? 3?
More? Open the crew manifest to choose how many sailors you wish to assign. Alright, assign crew. These are just the general sailors. Don't really know anyone else yet. Alright. Who don't we like? We can send the runt. Yeah. Alright, not Lefty. Let's send... Oh, we can't send Smurf. Let's send Tashi. Joseph. Do we send one more? Alright, we'll send 2 Johns. He's quite strong, isn't he? Alright, that'll do. You can take Tashi, 2 Johns, Runt and Joe. You're giving me the bloody stowaway!
Would you rather none?
The engineer holds his tongue. Fine. You can tell me how right it was when we were buried under the ice. He leaves.
You're a good spirit in that one, beneath the oil and the temper. You won't be seeing much of him, though. He prefers to burrow himself in the boiler room.
Alright, Kasher, I suppose. Captain, sure? A thought occurred to me the other day while I was looking through the crew manifest, and, well, it might be too late for this now, but we've already entered the ice.
Out with it.
I thought it would be good to have individual photos of the full crew.
For your report.
Not only my report, it would be good reference for the manifest. Put faces to the names.
Much of this crew have served me for years, some decades. I had little problem putting faces to the names. Your thoughts, sure.
Seems a good idea. If nothing else, it would make for a good souvenir.
Sentimental of this expedition, are you?
We've got +1 decorum.
Some proper photographs will have some historical weight to it. Well, Belford, I see no problem there. I'll arrange for the pictures to be taken before the crew have their dinner.
Thank you, Captain Shaw. Captain Shaw. In the meantime, I'll attempt to get as many individual crew photos as I can. You're still welcome to help on that matter, Officer Shaw. She departs, satisfied. Corvid. She enters the office. Hunt, you asked for a report on how the stowaway was doing?
I want to say the young boy has been settling in well.
He has indeed. It means another mouth to feed, but the boy works hard and doesn't ask much. He has his Dar to guide him as well.
I'm sure the boy's father is ecstatic.
Worried sick, but happy, aye.
Well, what do you know, Shaw? Perhaps we were right to keep the boy aboard.
She leaves. Finish requests, I guess.
Good to have all that settled, then. Perhaps we shouldn't rule old Kurt out so easily. If the man thinks there could be an alternate path through the ice, he's free to search for it. Sure, meet with him when you have time. Change your course or not, we'll want one of his scouts set up in the crow's nest. Take care of that, and then you'll be done for the day.
Okay, we'll leave. Who have we got? We've got a sick young man, below deck, navigator, crow's nest. Okay, let's think about what we're going to do. Okay, well, let's talk to the guy with the question mark first. Oh, he's seasick. You spot a youthful young man leaning over the side of the ship, his head slumped as he looks into the icy pool below. It appears he's been visited by a spot of seasickness. You okay? You speak out, and the sickly man doesn't answer. He raises his head and turns to spot you, his eyes widening in shock as he does. A bespectacled young man, shaking with unease. He stares at you for a brief moment, a look of shame plastered upon his face.
Sorry.
I haven't seen you around. Who are you?
I'm very sorry.
Arthur turns round and hurriedly runs in the opposite direction, avoiding your gaze. Arthur Nutley, okay. Have a look at the rigging. While examining the rigging of the ship, your eyes notice a figure darting by, climbing on the ropes with ease. The figure lands on their feet before dusting themselves off. Their outfit denotes one of Kurt's scouting crew.
No problems.
She looks to you.
And you are?
I'm the first mate. You should address me as such.
Sure. Flick, I'm one of Kurt's crew. Don't worry about my safety. I know what I'm doing, trust me. Kurt doesn't just hire anyone. Well, he didn't hire me for no reason.
I don't know what our accent is. It's all over the shop. I wanted to go Scottish.
Got in the medals and gymnastics if you're worried about my credentials.
Flick jumps up and returns to scaling the rigging of the ship. Alright. So with this crew manifest, if we go to the scouts, can I drag them up to, I can drag them around. I don't know, he said I needed to put someone in the crow's nest, didn't he? Can I drag her there? No. Okay. Well, maybe we'll find out how to do that stuff a bit later. Let's go and talk to the navigator.
Send me up there. I'll get you a reading.
The scientist eyes the man's cane and turns to you.
I believe the navigator means you to send one of his scouts.
The navigator clears his throat and taps his cane.
Yeah, of course. If you find one of mine, they'll get us a reading, rightly.
Okay, well that's what I did, wasn't it? So let's get Flick over there. Do we do it like that? Looks alright. They ascend to the nest and take a reading with the sextant. All clear from the top. He's going Irish again. Alright, what's this? That's Viscount Island. Return Orca Island. What's that? The last port you made. Again, another typo there. Where you picked up Kurt and the scouting team from. What about Viscount Island? The last known location of the Viscount. Your destination. Alright, return, I suppose. Anything else to say there? No. Okay, that's fine. Below deck? Or we could listen at this door. You overhear two of the newly arrived scouting crew talking.
Quilsley. Have you any trouble settling in?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. I can't wait for a chance to sleep, though.
Proper navigator never rests until their work is done.
Yeah, of course. I take it you had no issue settling in.
Not at all. The crew are a funny lot. Old Kurt certainly caught their attention. Do you think any of them would mistake Kurt and myself?
I think you'd collapse from joy if they did.
Perhaps.
Got two more. It's our cabin. Can we do anything in our journal now? We've done a little bit today. No. Alright, let's go downstairs then. What we got here? Pumps. We'll have a look at the pumps. Not much to see there. What about the other one? Oh, the pantry. The moment you enter the pantry, a bag of flour drops on your head, scattering all over your officer's uniform.
Ha! The hell was that, gnomes?
You wipe the flour off you before continuing. You lift a crate of tins from the shelves. We've got some tinned food. Not quite sure what that achieved, though. Hooded sailor. You spot a suspicious-looking sailor emerge from the pantry. The hooded sailor spots you, keeping their hands firmly in their pockets.
Know what he looks like, Officer Shaw? Plek, but call me Gnomes. I'm not thieving anything.
You best have an explanation, then.
No, I have a perfectly good explanation. No worries. No, I was just setting up a practical joke.
What practical joke is that? Well, we just walked into it, didn't we?
Yeah, not going to spoil the surprise. Not at your expense, if that's of your concern. Have to get some enjoyment round here, don't you think?
With their mysterious trap set, Gnome scurries off to the upper decks to return to work. Okay. Well, we stumbled into that trap, didn't we, before we knew there was a trap to avoid. Never mind. Approach the cook.
Ah, you must be sure. Seems you've met my brother already. You're in Stoke, but nobody calls me that. On this ship, I'm known as Junior.
You seem more personable than your brother.
Aye, you definitely met grimly. He's not the bad sort, my brother. Just to the point. He decides if he likes you right quick. Ah, one step ahead of me. If you add those tins to the hoosh, we should be good for dinner.
Feed the hoosh pot. Tinned food. Plus 20 to the hoosh. Plus 5 to the fuel. Minus 5 to the decorum, whatever that is. That's probably the most nebulous one, the decorum. Okay. Done that now. I mean, this is... Yeah, we need to just resolve that, I think. Oh, let's go to call the crew for dinner. The crew have their meal. What's happening there? I can't see what's happening. Can we zoom out? I can't zoom out when there's speech there.
Aye.
Days get longer, but dinner is fixed. It will see us through the long days and the darkest nights. The crew return to their post. The hammocks are unfurled in preparation for the evening. You can't help but notice that it's still bright outside. Sorry, did the thing reset? It didn't. Okay, that's fine. Now let's listen. You notice two sailors passing by from the dinner table. An inebriated sailor on wobbling legs, leaning on the shoulder of another.
Ah, good times, good times.
Need to learn to handle your drink, Tucker.
Yeah, but I'm fine.
My mates can carry me. A cavity?
They can also drop you. Have two Johns carry you next time.
No,
Are you asleep? Oh, shit.
Got two more on the manifest. Anything doing down here? What's this? Door. You knock on the door. No response. Okay, another one here. Oh, that's our cabin. Alright. Okay, let's go up. You could earwig on these two. You hear two engineers chatting above deck. Or rather, you hear one engineer speaking with another.
Don't know how the chief could stay down there all evening. You ever see Mr. Hammond eat? No, I haven't. Maybe he doesn't even eat. Man's not human if he can work all day and night on that boiler. Probably doesn't sleep either.
He probably sleeps.
Nah, Dick, it's figurative. Right.
Okay, Ricky Flogs and Gareth Fawsetter. Anything going on up here? No. Into the forecastle, okay. Oh, little doggies. The dogs regard her with rapt attention as she paces between them, bowl in hand. The largest joins her side as you approach. Try some. What's in it? Caviar and rose petals. I've already eaten. Fair. She takes a sip herself without hesitation. Penguin? Some blubber? Fats and proteins. Fastest way to hydrate them. Is there something you needed? Just inspecting the animals. They belong here more than we do. Unlike us, they need the ice. It cools them through their pores as they run. They'd overheat otherwise. Strong. Let's try and win her back round. Strong creatures. Very. They handle stress differently, adapt quickly. There's plenty to be learned from them. Who's that beside you? Oh, this is Stanbury. Ruff. Oh, you love these animals. They need me. And you'll need them. Oh, well, pet Stanbury. It barks at you and moves behind its master. Ah, okay. Never mind. So it's time to end the day, I suppose. I want to see if I can write my journal. Let's try our room again. Not seeing a way of doing it. Well, let's end the day. Oh, the food's getting low, isn't it? It'll be down to 20 after this. I can put people on half rations. Oh, and half fuel. Alright, we'll do that. After another week passes, the temperance has finally entered the thick ice fields. The days grow ever brighter. Week 3. Got more available crew. These are all the ones I know, I think. I don't know who the green one is. That might be the captain, I'm not sure. Show hub choices at off screen. Okay. Alright, that cleared it. That wasn't meant to be there, obviously. I thought it might be the end of the demo, but it seems not. Well, let's go downstairs first, see if there's anything to do down here. Probably not. Alright. Well, here we are. On the thick ice there. And it's getting on for an hour now, I think, this video. So I think perhaps we'll leave it here. It's not the end of the demo. I'm not quite sure how much longer that's going to continue. But yeah, no, this is good. This is good fun. It's sort of a nice narrative experience with some resource management and conversation choice. A bit like a sort of choose your own adventure straight visual novel type thing. But yeah, it's pretty good fun. So, again, something I've been keeping my eye on for a while. And I'm not sure when it's out, but I think when it is, that's something I'll look to buy and play on the channel as well. But yeah, so this, as I said before, I mean, I had this demo anyway, so I don't think it's going to disappear after October the 10th, but it's certainly appearing in Steam Next Fest, which takes place until then. So yeah, so if you like what you saw, check it out yourself. But if you did enjoy this video, then please do hit the like button and subscribe to the channel as well, that'd be fantastic. And in the meantime, I hope to see you again for more on Boring Dad Gaming. Bye for now.